While on my journey in college, I am working hard to begin to work on a reserve that protects and cares for rare and endangered species, in a location that will refresh my soul and leave me in awe of life's abundance, beauty, and breathtaking scenery. That place is Africa. There are so many important things to busy yourself with on a wildlife reserve. One really cool thing is waterhole monitoring, where you sit in one spot and observe the animals. The creatures are unlikely to notice that you are there and could possibly come close to grab a drink. Another task is bird monitoring, where you record from rare to common species and their activity. The point of monitoring the birds is to observe their migratory patterns. All the collected data on the birds' locations is sent off to an organization that constantly tracks the vulnerability status of the birds. Thirdly is monitoring the behavior of all species in the bush, which will include, but not limited to, determining hunting areas, home ranges, family groups, and see how they act around one another. Next is working in the breeding camps and taking care of the animals, which could involve feeding and monitoring the rare breeds. Having them in a large enclosure helps us get a better understanding of the rare species that are not often encountered in the wild. The purpose of these breeding camps is to expand the numbers of the animal's population with new young, rehabilitation of those injured, and relocating problem animals that have come too close to human civilization. And finally, releasing them back into the African savanna where they can once again be free. A final task is vegetation surveys that exist to record the herbivores while they eat, to see their diet and effects the animals will have on the vegetation. Sometimes plant species that are not indigenous in the area sprout up and often choke out the ones that are, and prevents them from growing. The alien plants often soak up more nutrients, which takes away what the other plants could get. The alien species are removed by a safe process, and the area is charted on a map as a problem area. That is often monitored and makes sure that the alien plant species do not grow in that location again. All information that is gathered in the field, whether it be about the flora or the fauna, is written down on paper, then transferred later on into a computer database, where it is sent out to other camps and other biologists, so we can further aid the research and help us get a better understanding of these marvelous beings. There is an overabundance of perks with working on an African reserve. One of these perks would be learning how to approach dangerous game on foot. Also, learning to read tracks to determine the species from them. These would allow you to get up close and personal with the animals in their own environment. There are also chances of being able to drive a safari four-wheeler. Being on the reserve would allow you to get unplugged with the world and connect with nature. Monitoring and tracking excursions into the bush could last a few days and gives you the opportunity to camp out under the stars. The absolute favorite perk of mine would be hand rearing the animals and who have lost their mothers. You step in as a mom and often give the young 24-hour care. Imagine sleeping next to and bottle feeding a baby lion. How amazing is that? Working on a reserve will help the world. Each tiny piece of accurate data collected is a contribution to help the overall picture. It is crucial for the reserve's future success and its sustainability with recording the issues on the environment with erosion, alien crops, natural vegetation, species breeding, natives, weather conditions, and the list can go on. The aim of the reserve is to protect the animals and the people and reintroduce species safely that were pushed out of the areas because of farming and hunting. Being a part of a wildlife reserve means reaching out to the communities through speech and education, to the native children and the farmers about the ecosystem and how to coexist with the animals that live in their own backyards. I want to be deeply involved with an establishment in a protected area where the animals can roam and thrive, where the removed species can be reintroduced back into the wild of spectacular Africa. The end. Yay, thank you.